There's so much to go over, from the victims recounting their stories to the ex-wife talking about the killer.
Right.
So as you heard, the wife, she said, "I wouldn't be surprised if he's gay." He was so conflicted. Everything was so deep down inside that he stifled it down. What do you make of that?
Oh, I think a lot of times people are conflicted about their sexuality and they use anger to cover it up. They use other mechanisms. But it's so internalized that it comes out in really different ways that we're not expecting.
Dr. Seeger, were you able to listen, and what did you make of the confusion and the conflict that she spoke of?
I was. Well, what I wanted to point out, too, is I think there's something that no one's mentioned before, and I've listened to her other interviews, and she used the word bipolar and insane. And I'm not saying he's bipolar. I have never met him. I'm just saying that there are a lot of people who are confused sexually and confused religiously. I come from Utah, and they kind of export that in Utah. But it's not a lot of people go over the edge, and I think he may have had some sort of mood element to his problem, which kind of takes the lid off those conflicts. I think there's another piece, there's another shoe to drop, and I think it's going to be some sort of serious narcissism and some sort of mood disorder that's buried in there that went untreated. That's just my guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think we are guessing. We don't know.
Because he's not your patient. You never saw him.
Right. We've never seen him,
Exactly.
and we don't know if he even has an identified mental health history yet.
Why do you think he turned, Deborah, to the internet for support? And how did you think that could have led to this?
Sure. I think that if you don't have support in your family or your community for your thoughts and
As
your
the
feelings,
ex-wife spoke of.
right, you turn to places that'll listen to you, and you're validated.
Yeah. So you, Dr. Seeger, you said that he wasn't a psychopath or a sociopath?
No, I don't think so. If you look at the history of sociopathy is repeated arrests and repeated violations. It's never one big unexpected explosion. And psychopaths are serial killers, repeat terrible things. This is, you have to explain. She says 3 or 4 years ago he was moody, he was violent, and he had these episodes of violence marked by periods where he was pretty normal. And that's sort of the course of a mood disorder. Once again, I think it's just something that to keep in the back of your mind. I would never tarnish regular bipolar people. They're not more violent than anybody else. But in this case, if you have these deep-seated conflicts, a lot of times a mood disorder will kind of take the lid off or loosen the lid and allow some crazy thing like this out.
But not many people, get upset if you happen to wander down a different aisle than they do in the grocery store and dig their fingernails. To her account,
Sure.
What type of behavior is that?
Well, that could be abusive behavior. It could be a learned trait in his family dynamics, and he learned that violence and aggression is a way to solve problems. So we don't know if it's just a learned behavior.
Yeah, but that's also controlling as well,
Sure,
right? He's trying to control her.
Like a domestic violence perpetrator. They control every aspect of their partner's life, and they try to control their world.
Yeah. Dr. Seeger?
Yeah, she's right. I think also there's an element of narcissism in this, and if you listen to the ex-wife's interview carefully, she said he enjoyed taking pictures of himself. He was outgoing, and I think narcissistic insult goes a lot of way toward explaining some of this kind of behavior. He had a bunch of things piled on him, and I'm in no way excusing what he did, but narcissists don't handle this kind of thing well. They don't handle conflict well, and they react violently as well.
Can I talk to you? I don't know if you saw the interview earlier with one of the survivors. Her name is Tiara. I mean, just an amazing young lady and survived this. And she's going to have to get some sort of help, as everyone does, because they saw some things that people don't see on the battlefield many times.
Absolutely.
In just a couple of hours there. Do you think that she's still in shock?
Yes, there's that shock, then there's the moving through those processes towards acceptance, but it's all of the things in between that she's never experienced or any of the victims have experienced. So they're at high risk for developing psychological disorders like post-traumatic stress disorder. So they need interventions now, they need the support of their families and their communities now.
Yeah, doctors, I appreciate both of you coming on. Thank you so much. We'll have you back again. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Up next, yes, of course. Up next, a visibly angry President Barack Obama slams Donald Trump for what he calls Trump's dangerous mindset and